Gameoverse, Glitch's new pilot indie show, just dropped a hot second ago and posed some interesting questions about stuff like moral gray areas of what's right and wrong in this twisted universe. But today I wanted to pose a different question. Are the heroes actually morally correct? Or is Kit and the rest of the Farcade actually the real villains of this story? To get into this, we'll need to understand the moral standpoints of these characters. Basically, a quick recap for the show's differing views. When a protagonist or hero in the Gameoverse wins their respective games and defeats their respective villains, their planet gets obliterated, and if the hero and villain don't get any outside help, then they die too in this horrible spectacle. This is where the main two factions come in. On one hand, the Farcade wants to prevent the obliteration of these planets and will constantly monitor and or insert themselves into the situation to force the hero to lose, preventing the cataclysmic event. This does raise a few questions though. Most protagonists will strive to do what is right and will be extremely determined to get that ending. They will just keep coming back smarter and smarter until they inevitably destroy their world, especially if the Farcade can't convince them. And it's not like they can just tell them what will happen, as that will also destroy the world. And the cherry on top, the hero cannot be harmed. Literally all these guys can do is pester the hero. And also, what does happen when the hero loses? I'd have to assume that the hero just respawns, which would be bad because then the cycle would just repeat, but with the hero obtaining some more knowledge on his so-called opponents. Now, on the other hand, a little bit more selfish outlook, some heroes, but mostly villains, in an organization called the Syntax, want the heroes to win so they can extract the float that comes off of their dying planet to recreate their loved ones. Now, this is an especially valid villain motive, especially if you originated as a villain. The hero broke into your home, beat you up, and caused everything you've ever known to be gone. This is only selfish from a hero's perspective on their side, as you just can't accept that your loved ones are gone, so instead of preventing this sort of thing, you only endorse it. But there's one small thing. Apparently if you harvest enough float off the dying planets, Warrick thinks he can reboot the universe and bring everyone back. So he thinks the people he kills are only temporary. He would actually be universally praised as the person who fought to give so many people who made accidents a second chance. If this theory is correct, then this would make Warrick actually an anti-hero and the others actually supposed villains. This brings me back to Kit being in a morally gray area. She believes she's doing the right thing. Guided by a mysterious paper, she was led up a tower to defeat the one and only threat to everyone she knows and loves, only for them to still die when she attempts to do the right thing. And now, to cope with her losses, she's trying to prevent the destruction of these other worlds, which I have to say she is really bad at. She has gone 2 for 2 on genocides, not counting her own planet. Except, the only reason she's in the right here is because of her altruistic goal of saving entire realms. If that goal does come into question, then she is by definition a villain, or at the very least an antagonist, because she and her band of misfits are proactively fighting against and sabotaging the people trying to bring everyone back and making them think that their friends are gone for good. They're heroes, still foolishly thinking they're doing the right thing, only to get in the way of the villains just trying to bring back everything for everyone, including the hero that stole it all from them. She is using every underhand tactic necessary to prevent the hero from doing the right thing, even almost bringing the inevitable early, when at the end of the day, and a few bumps in the road later, a temporary genocide will only help everyone in the universe. Now, in no way do I think Kit is actually in the wrong here. She is right to think that if she felt that way about something, then she should try and prevent it from happening to others. And it would be very unheroic to have the realization that they're trying to prevent an almost impossibility, making them feel scummy all for the greater good. I think that Warrick's plan is actually a lie to tell everyone who sides with him, as you can't create an infinite of everything with a finite amount of something. He can't harvest all the float at once, and some float would just dissolve if they couldn't get there, and make a dead spot in this universe, preventing at least one planet from being brought back forever. And even if it isn't a lie and the float from one planet can produce like 10 others, he's still doing some very fricked up stuff to everyone around him, excluding some of his subjects. I think coming back to what I said before, there would be no reason to put this much emotional emphasis on the heroes and what they think is right to tell you guys that although this show is mostly focused on gaming, it's also focused on morality and what characters think is right. So yeah, all in all, I just had a few theories to get out there and a few different POVs to consider. This was a great pilot from Glitch, definitely my favorite out of these three, and I hope that everything gets greenlighted. I am a big fan of the slowed down but great fight scenes, the emotionally charged moments, and the overall retro theme in general. I think that they can take this idea and become huge, exploring many different games which would allow more people to get into it and it maybe being even bigger than the amazing digital circus. But one last thing, this is not a goonbait slop show. It is a genuine masterpiece and it's not Glitch's fault that the pre-written female characters should wear swimsuits in a beach episode. Like and subscribe if you think I've earned your time and maybe want to see more videos like this in the future from me. I'm gonna drop a few of my other videos on screen, watch those if you want to, drop a comment if you think Warrick's plan is BS or not, and have a nice day.